It is Tuesday, April the 30th at 10 a.m. And this is how I'm starting my morning. Every spring, this starts. The pole down there where they are air blowing and weed whacking is quite significant to this city and this whole process. It's nice that they would come to do the landscaping, which is what a city is supposed to do to maintain city-owned areas. But this is the first time that I have seen them out here doing this in a year. In a year. I don't blame the workers. They work for the city. They probably don't even know the history or what they're doing, or why this area is significant right now. Every spring. I just want to show how much time she is putting on that pole over there, because they got to clear it out so they can get to it. I take that back. I do blame the workers, because a city is an entity that is comprised of many individual people doing their individual part to contribute to the problem. Every spring, this starts. Every fucking spring. Every spring. Every spring. This shit starts. Can't even see it now. I was looking for the meter, which that's the next step, is that they'll come out and start uncovering the meter covers, which you can't see easily because of all of the growth from the previous year. Every year. 2024 is going to be my last year. I promise. One way or another, this will end for me.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary and Mr. Chairman, both of you set an example of service that should inspire every American across the globe, and it's an honor to have you here this morning. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, I'm grateful to hear that the Brandon Act, which would ensure service members have a way to request mental health assistance in an emergency, is going to be rolled out to active duty service members by mid-April. I'll be keeping close tabs on this rollout. It's taken over 15 months for the Department of Defense to simply implement this policy since we passed it into law. Over 500 service members have died by suicide during that delay. So I'm grateful it's happening now, but I know a lot of the families who lost a loved one want to know why it wasn't done sooner. Mr. Secretary, you've outlined the impressive investments we need to make in the coming year, but we can't make all of these critical investments if we don't divest of some things that aren't worth the cost to sustain them. What are some of the most important cuts you have made in this budget that you're concerned Congress will overrule for parochial political concerns?
Well, thanks, and let me thank you personally for what you did with the Brandon Act, and I know that you'll stay focused on it. And I want to assure you that the issue of suicide is enormously important to me, and I know it's important to the chairman as well. So we really appreciate what you've done there, and we'll continue to press. In terms of, let me go back to your question again and make sure I got the full context of the question. So.
Look, what are you worried? What cuts are you making in this budget that you're worried that parochial political concerns in Congress will overrule?
So you've heard us ask for relief on things like A-10s before. That I love that airplane, but and I know you love it too because you've been on the ground and these kinds.
I think we should get rid of it. But what else besides A-10s?
LCSs, some of the earlier variants of LCS.
Would you be able to provide us a list of some of these cuts that you think are strategically important for us to make?
Right. Yeah, we will. I think it's folded into our budget there, but we will.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I want to pivot to talk about our investment in progress in hypersonic weapons for a second. Are hypersonic missiles stabilizing or destabilizing weapons?
They're potentially destabilizing, and the issue is, the development of an effective defensive mechanism to guard against. Having said that, as you know, the Russians have used hypersonic technology in Ukraine several times, and it hasn't guaranteed any type of victory. As a matter of fact, the Ukrainians are in a very good place right now and struggling to improve.
Well, look, Mr. Secretary, I agree with you that these are potentially destabilizing weapons. A lot of your senior commanders agree. General Von Herk said in a hearing a couple weeks ago that if you can't see hypersonics, it's hard to do continuity of government. It's certainly hard to protect your nuclear posture, and that, he felt, eroded our strategic stability because, of course, it's very different than in traditional intercontinental ballistic missiles where we see them coming, they know they're going to get the same response, and that mutually assured destruction ensures that that neither side starts a nuclear exchange. I will note that your STRATCOM commander argued that they were stabilizing as long as we get as many as the Russians and the Chinese. But of course, the Russians and Chinese are developing nuclear-capable hypersonic missiles. What is our deterrent against them?
Well, first of all, I am confident in our nuclear triad. It is the bedrock of our deterrent capability. In terms of hypersonics, we're interested in investing in the quantities that support our warfighting concept. So we need some hypersonic capability, but we also need a number of subsonic, highly survivable.
Mr. Secretary, I'm running out of time, but if I just may make the point that we're not even trying to match this capability that the Russians and Chinese have in nuclear tipped hypersonic missiles, because our assured second strike, as the chairman laid out, with our traditional triad, is what deters their use. And yet it feels like we're in an arms race here trying to catch up with Russia and China for the worst reasons, because we're both rushing to get more of these hypersonics. They're fundamentally destabilizing. That makes the world less safe for all of us. And so I think it'd be helpful to hear not just a strategy to win this arms race, but a strategy to stop it. I'm sorry I've run out of time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Throws a bigger tantrum than a narcissist losing control of someone's mind.
I don't even know what time it is now. I guess it's probably 11. Good morning. Not as well as I would like to be, but I'm good. I'm always good. Rage crying video that I posted early this morning. It's about 3:30 now. I think the video I did this morning was about 9:30, and this is the setup and the situation this evening. You know how folks are sort of showing up and blocking in the situation here. So yeah, I've pretty much concluded any patience that I may have had left dealing with these people today. I just wanted to capture what it looks like when Civil War, if you want to call it civil, shows up at your front door. And shout out to the ancestors. You can always tell when they are showing up. Everybody's showing up. They try to help me understand this stuff, like this government crack pipe. This is what a crack pipe looks like when the government puts it in. And then when war shows up at your front door because they losing horribly, you know, it becomes about Osa, Sama, Oh say, it's all that SA flavor. Y'all check that Amazon web service, all right? As I show All right, let's look at the Tree of Life, according to Hilton, Maine.
project 6 years in the making has found its permanent home on the state capitol grounds. Fox 51's Ware-Avant joins us live from Austin and shows us the new memorial to honor those who have served our country in the global war on terror. Wes.
Hi, Mike. This new statue is sandwiched here between the Capitol building and the main visitors parking lot, meaning there's a lot of foot traffic in this area. The project's creators hope that this will serve not only as a thank you to veterans, but also recognize the sacrifices their families make, too.
It means a lot. It means a lot to me. And it resonates because I'm a husband and a father of a little girl, my 6-year-old daughter. And so just seeing it,
Navy veteran Alan Umana needed a minute when we asked him about the new Price of Liberty Memorial.
It brings a lot of memories, but I'm also very proud to have served with those guys who, and those gals too, who gave it all.
Capitol visitors can now see the bronze work.
This is exactly what we wore, real similar.
Many stopping to take photos of Lady Liberty pulling a soldier away from his wife and child, as that soldier pays the price of liberty.
That statue is beautiful, but unfortunately, I'm part of it.
Yolanda Valdez knows that price.
When I got here and saw the statue, well, my heart just started beating.
Her son, Marine Lance Corporal Nicholas Perez, was killed in Iraq in 2004.
He saw a lot for a 19-year-old. He did the right choice. Even though I lost him, he did right.
That's a bold thing to hear you say.
It is. But I gotta support him.
Seeing the memorial for the first time and talking about her son brings her pain, but also relief.
Thank you, for remembering not just my son, but the veterans, the Gold Star families.
And we talked with one of the folks who spearheaded this project 6 years ago. The retired Army Colonel James Stryker says the cost of this project, nearly $500,000, was paid for entirely by donations. Reporting live at the Texas State Capitol, I'm Wes Rappaport, Fox 51 News.
Thank you for that story.